Busch Gardens drops its tallest ride. The park says Mäch Tower will close for good January 8th. The nearly 240-foot ride opened back in 2011. Busch Gardens says that decision came after a consideration of overall guest satisfaction.
Hello everyone. Today's an emotional day as Busch Gardens Williamsburg is losing its drop tower. Today we say goodbye to Mäch Tower, the Moser drop tower that I don't know why it even decided to exist. In August of 2011, Mäch Tower opened to the public. Late, I might add. It had many delays, including the brakes not even working properly, and it somehow lasted all the way until 2023. Granted, January of 2023. This was actually, believe it or not, my first ever drop tower. In 2011, I rode it in its opening year, and I was 9 years old when I rode it. So, walking across that Italy bridge and seeing Mäch Tower really high up in the air, dropping really fast down, it intimidated me, but it was something I wanted to experience. So I get in the really cramped seat that's meant for a child. And when the restraint came down, not only were there not enough room for my arms, but my arms were stuck behind the restraint. So my arms were like this position behind the restraint. And I experienced my very first drop tower like that. That was my very memorable first ride experience on Mäch Tower. And I only rode Mäch Tower another time, so twice in my life. The rest of the times I went to Busch Gardens Williamsburg, Mäch Tower was always closed. And it was always a big sigh of relief that I didn't have to ride Mäch Tower and I could focus on other rides when I was at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. Mäch Tower was definitely a ride that looked better than it rode. So whenever I went to Busch Gardens Williamsburg, I always waved to the riders on the ride, but I went to the better roller coaster right next to it for Bolton. The last time I saw Mäch Tower operate was during Howl-O-Scream 2022. I could have gotten a night ride on it, but instead I voted for Bolton. There wasn't much merch made from Mäch Tower. However, I was one of the lucky ones to actually get a piece of merch from the ride. I got a pin, believe it or not, from Mäch Tower that I still have today. I know many of you are sad to see Mäch Tower go, although some of you are pretty happy. Honestly, riding Mäch Tower wasn't the best part of the ride at all. It was the reactions of other people. Coaster Studios, as you may know, was trying to get Mäch Tower for years, and when he finally rode it, called it a piece of crap. Theme Park Worldwide, when he did his trip across America, not only rode Mäch Tower, but filmed a POV of it. And while riding it at the very end after dropping, he said, I quote, "What the hell was that? That was the worst drop tower I've ever been on. That was terrible." These words will no longer echo throughout Busch Gardens Williamsburg, and will very much be missed. Today, Mäch Tower only exists in the excess of online POVs that not only show how mediocre of a ride that Mäch Tower was, but also misspell Mäch Tower by missing the 2 dots on top of the A. You probably just checked this video to see if it had the 2 dots, didn't you? We will sorely miss Mäch Tower, but fear not, as pretty much any other ride would be better in its place. In fact, it doesn't even have to be a ride. My brother recommended bathrooms, and honestly, that's not a bad idea. You walk across the Italy Bridge and there's nothing there. You have to go all the way to the Fest House. But in all honesty, any flat ride could do well there. I mean, the Scrambler used to be there before Mäch Tower came in. So even if they moved the Scrambler back, I'd call that a win. The last thing I'd like to highlight is something that's often forgotten about with Mäch Tower, and that's its tagline: heart racing, jaw-dropping. Two terms that could literally describe any thrill ride ever. Why was it on Mäch Tower? I don't know. But they will also be missed as well. So as we look at the life of Mäch Tower, we must remember the good times, like how it was an infinitely better observation tower during Christmastown than it was a drop tower. Unfortunately, I never got to experience it like that, but to the people that have, they probably have good memories of Mäch Tower. With all that said, I now say, farewell Mäch Tower, see you in hell.